Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you're completely new to tarot, just understand that not every reading that is made for your zodiac sign is going to resonate with you. So if you feel like the reader is wrong, or maybe it's not your story, just disregard the reading. You can also just disregard gender. I'm going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, Empress. I'm not specifically talking about a man or a woman. I'm describing a personality trait with those cards, so just disregard the gender. If you want more readings, you could subscribe to the channel. It'll notify you every time I post. I do also offer private personal readings. That information's in the description of the video. I will also pin it in the comments. And I offer a membership, so if you're interested in that, you can click the join button. It'll take you over to the membership tab and show you out all the perks over there. So we're doing a monthly overview of April. Okay, I guess the deck is the right side up. So you'll see I have 2 Oracle already pulled. That'll make sense in a minute when we start going over the astrology for the month real quick. Not all of it, but some of it. So the main energy of the spread is the 8 of Wands. Your current energy is Justice in the reverse, Libra energy, supported by the 2 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 9 of Pentacles. And in the challenge position, I have the 4 of Cups. Okay, so let's start with these. The first card out I have is a win-win outcome as forecast, and this is full moon in Libra energy. So on the 12th of April, we have a full moon in Libra. So you may experience some heightened emotions, some relationship drama. And it's mostly really so that, this conflict can come about and everybody can speak their piece, and in the end of it, everybody can figure out where they went wrong, fix the situation. And essentially, I look at it like damage control. Now, towards the end of this full moon, when that relationship is harmonized, we're looking at, heightened emotion still, but in a better way. But be careful, because it's also a really fertile energy, just to be clear. So on the 19th of April, the sun will move into Taurus, and this is a really good thing because I feel like this Aries energy has been pretty exhausting. Like a lot of go, no productivity though. That's how I've been feeling. And I think I've seen that played out with everyone else too. Now, when the sun enters Taurus, everything stops going retrograde as well. So the energy is going to feel really stable and grounded. So you may actually feel more patient and be more productive in that time period. Now, on the 27th, we have a new moon in Taurus. That's why I have the Prosperity Lies Ahead card out here. And this moon is going to encourage us to look at our future. So we're going to be releasing some past stuff and only really focusing on the future. But this is a Taurus moon, so it's definitely going to be around these materialistic things as well. Your 401k, your health benefits, your life insurance, the long-term life planning. And then finally on the 30th, Venus moves into Aries. Now, this is like carnal desire energy, and again, extremely fertile. So y'all need to be careful this month, period. It could be, if you're single, you could be finding yourself in a spring fling. It's nice outside. Everybody's happy. It's just a totally different vibe than where we've been for the last couple of months. So yeah, let's get into the spread and the different aspects. We will start with romance. Some of you got done filthy. You got done filthy, okay? That was justice in the reverse. Things just weren't fair in some type of romantic relationship here. I think the main energy is the 8 of Wands because there's some want to progress or move past this here. Now, the main problem is that there is still love for this person, and there even is this want to change things, but at the same time, you feel like it's better to just be out here on your own. And I mean, that's the result right now anyway, right? You've learned a lot. You've learned how to be by yourself. You learned what you can do on your own. You've learned that you don't need this person, which is going to be a main energy with this full moon, we're going to be looking at our independence and our need for others. And I think you'll be noticing that you definitely do not need anyone. At the same time, though, I feel like there's just been so much disappointment, so it's not about not needing somebody, it's that emotional, what's the word I want to use? I feel like maybe numbness is the energy that I'm getting from this card. It's like maybe you're not sour over a relationship anymore. You may still have some feelings, but you're not like sour or bitter. You're just, where you do have any feelings at all, you feel like it was whatever happened in the situation was just completely unjustified, and you just want to move past it. And you will do that in the month of April. Like I said, this new moon energy is going to really have us trying to clear up some of the things from the past. Now, that full moon is going to bring it all to light. The parts of the relationship that we weren't paying attention to, the toxic shit that we should have seen. And in the end of it, it'll all be like, okay, I've resolved this conflict. Now it's time to look towards the future. Despite the past disappointments. For those of you that are in a romantic relationship, you could feel like things like currently are not really balanced. Like, I feel like the relationship is fine as far as like emotionally, like there's love there, you know what I mean? But you feel like maybe both of you are just too independent. Like, you're not really capable of making enough time for each other in the relationship, and that's what needs to change. Like, the two of you could just like work all of the time. There's just like something where it's not like a deal breaker. It's just it's putting tension in a relationship. It seems unbalanced. It's almost like that relationship doesn't exist. It's sort of like on the back burner for like at the end of the day when everything else finally is complete. I can remember that you're there. Like I said, that Aries energy. Now, I do feel like this will be a conflict. This will be an actual problem. This will be brought up. A partner is going to say something to you, or you're finally going to say something to them. But this is actually a conversation that does need to be had. And you're going to learn in the future that you can't act like you just don't care when something is happening, or the other person is going to that. Because like somebody's been just tolerating something that they actually don't like in a relationship, and it needs to be brought up so that two people can actually talk about it and work it out. It's kind of the opposite of what I see in most relationships, where people are just like too dependent. They're like very codependent. They cannot, any little, distance is like too much and it's a threat to them. And you two seem kind of the opposite, where actually like there's so much independence in the relationship that sometimes it's just not like that bond is not being formed the way it needs to. So if this person is bringing something up to you, or if you feel like you want to bring something up, go ahead and have that conversation. If somebody's talking to you about this, you need to really listen to them, because they really are unhappy with whatever's happening here, Now, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, for friends, family, colleagues, there's some imbalance, at least in the beginning of the month. Again, like, there's some discourse, I want to say, in most of your interpersonal connections. And again, it's this independence. It's not like you have actual turmoil or problems. You just, I think, are so busy with what you do. I'm getting somebody who like either works mad hours, or like they work and go to school full time, or like, they like work and have a side hustle. It's like something like that, where like there's hardly any time even for a partner. So they really don't have time for friends or family, and they actually feel like they're disappointing the people around them. So I feel like, around the 27th, when this new moon is coming, you may be looking at this being the main thing that needs to change in your stability. It's not just about, like I'm looking at somebody who probably already has a 401k and life insurance and all that. What they're not going to have, though, is any of this time back that they should be spending with their friends or family. That's kind of how they're looking at it. So that's something that you may be looking at here. We'll move into that, though, when we move into the money situation. So some of you are afraid to disappoint the family. Like, it's like either you're going to disappoint a boss, or you're going to disappoint your bank account, or you're going to disappoint the kid. Like, there's something you're just no longer really interested in disappointing. And this can be the other way around too. This can be a conversation where you have to tell someone that, like, you're tired of being disappointed by them, that they are literally always at work or something like that. You could be like in a relationship with like a true like workaholic, and yes, you need them to work to pay the bills, but like you also need them to be fucking present in your life. And if I said that to you just like super indifferently, like you would have that conversation with someone might be having that conversation with you, and you do need to listen to them like that's what they're saying, and not like, they're asking you to, and like encouraging you to go broke and let the family become homeless or something. It's not like that. If someone's like legitimately stressing to you that like they also need a relationship with you in life, or again, the other way around. Now, when it comes to money, I think that you're looking to remove some blockages. Like, again, you feel like there's an imbalance here, and I feel like it's the work life. I don't feel like financially there are real issues. It is the time and energy that is being spread too thin. I feel like a lot of you have a job that takes up all of your time. But it's creating tension in your relationships. You know what I mean? It would be like, I'm getting the classic, like, they're expecting you to miss, like, dance recitals and, like, ball games and stuff like that to, like, comply at work. And so, again, I feel like around this new moon, you may be actually looking into new opportunities where like you're not constantly like you don't feel like you're constantly disappointing someone. You don't, because I feel like some of you have a boss that doesn't have like boundaries. Like they want you to work a lot or like do a lot of overtime. Some of you literally work for law. Like you're literally working the justice system, and like it's just a lot of long, ridiculous fucking hours. And even though the pay is there, it's like, again, you won't get time back. Like, like you're not going to ever get the chance to go to your kid's first ballet recital ever again. It's just not a thing. You can't do that. What you can do, though, is find a new fucking job. And I think that's how you're going to start looking at it by the end of April, to be honest. Now, if I were just to look at the cards from an advice perspective, in order to move past any of this imbalanced energy or unjustified energy in life, I think you have to start sinking a little more love into yourself. What I mean by this is giving yourself some self-respect. It's hard to set boundaries later with a boss if you've always been a yes man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you have to have those boundaries from the front, from the jump, from the start. Some of you need to think about yourself, because you're always constantly worried about disappointing everyone else. But what about you? Because it looks exhausting. You look exhausted, boo. Some of you need to relook at success. What would make you truly successful? Fat bank account, a nice car, and a house? Or loving children that are going to take care of you when you're in diapers and don't have teeth anymore? Like what's what's really going to be success here in life? And I feel like I had to say that to someone very outright. And because workaholics, they don't think about this. They're just, they get so stuck in the job, like it's something that has to be completed, or it's like the only place where they can form validation, and so they literally get addicted to it. But it just tears families apart. And for some of you, you're really experiencing that. Now, some people just don't have a choice. Some people have no choice but to work like 60 hours a week just to pay the bills. And that may be the push to start looking for a new job here. Maybe saying, well, you shouldn't be that disappointed. Maybe you got to find something better, put yourself in a better position. Start looking at your future in a totally different way. The same with relationships, though, when it comes to this win that you want. When it comes to relationship, you have to be more future oriented and trying to do your best to, I think, listen to another person and what they're saying. Because, sometimes the Four of Cups can be like a card of apathy. you know, we don't think we're apathetic, but sometimes it's like somebody says something to us and we dismiss it, or we bring up something they do, or we say, it's like this situation I said before where someone says, well, don't you think you're kind of a workaholic? You're spending all your time at work. And it's like, well, what would you prefer? That we just don't eat and have nowhere to live, instead of actually listening to what the other person had to say? So if that's something that you do, even if you don't think about it, that's like indifference to the other person. It's not really fair, you know? So I would be careful, you know, like a lot of times what's missing in relationships is communication. And when I say that, most people are like, oh, I talk. Yeah, but do you listen? Like, can you actively listen? Because that's a part of empathy, right? So making sure that you are, one, sticking up for yourself, you know, setting appropriate boundaries where they need to be, but also making sure that you are really hearing out the people around you that care about you this month. Because I feel like, again, with this full moon, you're not the only one experiencing it. Someone else in your life is going to be too, and they're going to hit you with this epiphany, this, hey, this ain't working for me. Hey, this is, you know, if we can't figure this out, I gotta go. Hey, if this, you know, if this doesn't go this way, I gotta make some changes. You need to be ready for those conversations at the beginning of this month. All right. I will see you guys soon.